the Congress system. So we are going to see the achievements of the Congress system, a system which was designed by European powers to solve problems. But the question is, did they solve the problems? So we are saying the Congress system was a system of settling major European issues by meetings of the great powers that were in a permanent alliance. These powers were Austria, Britain, Prussia, Russia, and later France. The system was initiated by Prince Metternich and Lord Castlereagh. Its operations began at the Congress of Aix-la-Chapelle in 1818, Trappes 1820, Laibach 1821, Verona 1822, St. Petersburg 1825, and London in 1827. It aimed at maintaining peace and stability, promoting cooperation among European powers, and enforcing the Vienna Settlement of 1814-15. So we need to understand the Vienna Settlement. It had a great agenda and it had great aims. But the question is, did the Congress system achieve? That is the hard discussion. Number one, it protected the legitimate rulers. For example, Ferdinand I in Naples and Ferdinand VII in Spain. Let me tell you, the diplomats at Vienna restored the legitimate rulers. But many people wanted to rise up against the legitimate rulers. So it was the Congress system that protected the legitimate rulers. Because people rose up in Naples against the legitimate ruler. So it was a question of the Congress system that protected the legitimate rulers. Another one, it maintained peace and stability in Europe. We believe by this time the Congress system maintained peace and stability in Europe. Peace and stability in Europe was maintained. In other words, for a period, of course, from 1818, where the Congress system started sitting, up to 1848, there was no major war involving major powers directly, altogether. So we are like saying today, the Congress system maintained peace and stability in Europe. Another one, it protected the Jews in Europe. Let me tell you, the Jews did not have a permanent place. They were looking for them. They were looking to, like people were looking for them to kill them. But it was the Congress system that protected the Jews in Europe. In other words, no one was supposed to rise up against the Jews. It suppressed the violent liberal and nationalist revolts in Europe. I can say it suppressed the violent liberal and nationalistic revolts in Europe. Those revolts that were rising up against the Metternich system were suppressed by the diplomats of the Congress system. So we are like saying the Congress system achieved because it suppressed violent, liberal, and nationalist revolts in Europe. Another one, it settled the issue of the Swedish debt to Denmark by forcing the Danish government to clear the debt. You remember at one time, the Danish government had got a debt from the people of the Swedish. But what happened? It failed to pay. It was the Congress system that forced the Danish government to clear the what? The debt. This was an achievement because the system was formed to solve the problems within Europe. Another one, it maintained the balance of power in Europe. The balance of power in Europe was what? Maintained. How? In other words, it made sure that it distributes the Napoleonic territories altogether. Where many countries were given some territories, This tried to maintain the balance of power. Because at the times of Napoleon, only one country, France, was at a higher level, and other countries had been conquered, most of them. Another one, it admitted France to the alliance of the great powers, which prevented France from becoming a permanent enemy. We believe by this time, at first France was not a member of the Congress system. But in the Congress of Aix-la-Chapelle of 1818, France was allowed to join the Big Four because they realized the major problem was Napoleon, and Napoleon had been defeated. So France was allowed to join the Big Four. The Big Four became Big Five. So changes rising up. Another one, it laid the foundation for future international peace organizations and congresses. The Congress system laid the foundation for future international peace organizations and congresses. Foundation for future international peace organizations and congresses was laid. What's all about this? I can say other organizations that came later, like the League of Nations, United Nations, learned from the Congress system to settle issues peacefully. So we are honoring the Congress system. Another one, it maintained the aggressive Napoleon Bonaparte I in exile. I can say Napoleon was maintained to be in exile. You remember the first time he was imprisoned at Elba and later at St. Helena. So we believe Napoleon was a serious problem to peace in Europe. So he was put in where? In exile. So we are praising the diplomats of the Congress system. Another one, it promoted trade and economic cooperation among European countries. We believe that Napoleon had disturbed the trade through the continental system, where he refused countries to trade with Britain. But when powers rose up, they encouraged trade among European countries. So we are saying the Congress system promoted trade and economic cooperation among European countries. So we are saying the Congress system achieved. Another one, it promoted constitutionalism in Europe. For example, it restored the Bourbon monarchy in France, which had to rule using the Constitutional Charter of 1814. The Congress system promoted constitutionalism in Europe. You remember, many people are rising up against constitutionalism. So it is the Congress system that promoted constitutionalism. I can say it restored legitimate rulers in France, but when they were restored, they were given a constitution. They were told that you must rule according to the what? To the constitution. So we are honoring the diplomats at where? At the Congress system in this kind of arrangement, because the diplomats, for them, tried to promote constitutionalism. So friends, we need to understand issues concerning about the achievements of the Congress system. Series